Folks, they are ripping their hair out over this Supreme Court 9-0 decision to keep Trump on the ballot. And I can tell you there are some ulterior political motives here, especially with Nikki Haley. So Nikki Haley, this is at USA Today. She's come out and she has supported keeping Trump on the ballot. But here's the reason why. She wants to beat him. That's the only reason she wants him on the ballot. And actually, you Democrats out there who hate Trump should want Trump on the ballot for the very reason that Nikki Haley wants him on the ballot. You want to beat him. You want to beat him at the polls. So this is an article by Savannah Kuchar, last name Kuchar. This came out yesterday, the 4th. Title of the article, "This is America. Nikki Haley backs Supreme Court ruling keeping Donald Trump on Colorado ballot." Welcome back to the channel, Culture Confederacy here. It's Tuesday. It's another one-take video. I've got to get ready for work here soon. As you know, I love doing this channel, so thank you for supporting us. I say us because you're all part of this thing called the Culture Confederacy. Being a part of this thing called the Culture Confederacy, as I said, where we celebrate great art, music, history, culture, the preservation of history, music, culture, tinge of politics, talk about current events. So let's get to the article here. It's a short article, so a quick video today. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley said she supports the Supreme Court's decision allowing former President Donald Trump to stay on the Colorado ballot in the face of a challenge against his presidency. Or his candidacy, rather. Quote, "I think that was important," the Republican presidential candidate told a cheering crowd during her campaign stop in the Houston area Monday. "We don't ever want some elected official in the state or anybody else saying who can and who can't be on the ballot. This is America," Haley said. This is so sophomoric. I'm sorry. Every time this woman talks, it's so sophomoric. Well, Jake, you can't ask me a simple question, right? What's the Civil War about? Slavery? Hours before Haley took the stage in Spring, Texas, the nation's highest court ruled unanimously that Colorado could not use an anti-insurrectionist provision in the Constitution to keep the former president off the state's 2024 ballot. Now, the whole point of that decision was to say, look, a state cannot, determine who or who doesn't run for federal office. So you can't kick somebody off the ballot at the federal level. But if they commit insurrection or rebellion in your state, then you could take them off the ballot in your state. But you can't overstep your bounds and, take somebody off the ballot who's running for federal office because that's a federal office. Advocates across the country have argued that Trump engaged in the insurrection on January 6, 2021. Well, the more you think about it, if you just take a step back here, if Joe Biden is president and the government is still functioning, still in operation, and we still have this thing called the United States, then how was there an insurrection? I'm just asking you two. Oh, no. As I said before, it's all garbage. It's all BS. And I'm the only one here on YouTube who's willing to say it. Getting back to the article. They say that bars him from serving as president again because a section of the 14th Amendment, enacted after the Civil War, which was all a political move, by the way, blocks people from office who have engaged in insurrection after previously promising to support the Constitution. Well, speaking of that, the South, the southern states that seceded, did not engage in insurrection or rebellion. They seceded. Big difference. Big difference. And they didn't try to overthrow the U.S. government. They created their own government. They created something called the Confederate States of America, which one day returned to the Articles of Confederation. Do I need to give a history lesson here? Quote, "Look, I'll defeat Donald Trump fair and square, but I want him on that ballot," Haley assured her supporters on Monday. Ulterior motive. So she supports the SCOTUS decision to keep Trump on the ballot, but she lets the cat out of the bag that the reason why here is because she wants to defeat him at the ballot box. Thank you, Nikki Haley, who also took down the Confederate battle flag in 2015, if you remember. The former president on Monday immediately applauded the Supreme Court's decision, calling it, quote, a big win for the country. The outcome effectively ends pushes in Illinois, Maine, and other states to disqualify Trump from the 2024 race for the White House as he seeks another term in office. Quote, I think the best way is just for the people to decide at the ballot box, Haley, can't get the words out, told CNN, saying she is against the quote-unquote chaos of different states making varying decisions. But, you know, the more I think about this, maybe that would be a better alternative, to have people in these states decide who and who they don't want on the ballot. I don't want Republicans or Democrats in my state, or I don't want, this person or that person in my state. Now, you couldn't discriminate against somebody because, let's say, age, race, sex, et cetera, et cetera. But let's say that, you prefer this candidate over that candidate, so we're going to vote for this candidate over that candidate in another state, or in this state. That might actually be, in kind of a odd way, a better system if you think about it. If you make things more localized, and if we reduce the power of the presidency to what it originally was, make it harder to run for president, that way you get somebody in office who knows what they're doing. Not somebody who's sitting there on TV eating ice cream, Joe Biden. The Supreme Court justices supported a similar argument in their unsigned opinion, writing that Congress, not the states, should be responsible for such decisions. Well, what they did here is they basically punted the ball. They just kicked the can down the road here to Congress to make Congress make this decision. But they are correct. A state can't overstep its bounds and determine who's currently, as the system as we have it, that a state can't, keep somebody off the ballot who's running for federal office. If it's somebody in your state and they're, they've committed insurrection, or rebellion in your state, or been charged with a crime in your state, then obviously in your state, you could probably take them off the ballot because they were convicted of a crime or engaged in insurrection or rebellion. Well, we conclude that the states may disqualify persons holding or attempting to hold state office, the justices said, but states have no power under the Constitution to enforce Section 3 with respect to federal offices, especially the presidency. Even the court's 3 liberal justices, who criticized the ruling in a separate statement for helping Trump more than potentially necessary, warned Colorado's decision would, quote, create chaotic state-by-state patchwork. But again, maybe, as I said, maybe that's something that we need. Maybe we need to make this harder for people to run for president. But you wouldn't be able to discriminate based on age, sex, race, et cetera, et cetera. But the whole system's screwed up. I mean, let's face it, folks. The whole system is screwed up. Like today's Super Tuesday, right? Well, who's really going to vote Super Tuesday? All these people, you see, the Republicans and Democrats, they're a club. They're a political club. And you got to belong to that political club. You're going to vote for that. And now they're interviewing these independent voters. And I love these polls that come out. Just a little side here. Well, 56% of Americans voted for Biden, or would vote for Biden in the next election cycle. Or 46% would vote for Trump. Well, there's 10% undecided. How many people were actually polled here? 100? 1,000? 10,000? Does that really represent everybody in the United States? Probably not. But you see, this is America. This is democracy at work. So maybe I'm a cynic in some ways, and I admit I'm an independent voter. But I just think both parties, now I'm not talking, if you want to go out and you want to vote Republican or Democrat, that's your choice. I can respect that. I'm not talking about you. Okay, not talking about the average voter. I'm talking about these quote unquote political parties that think they know everything that there is to know about about politics. That somehow they're the know-all, be-all, and that they have the answer to everything, and that we should look to Washington, D.C. to solve all our problems. How about looking to your own backyard to solve your problems and keeping D.C. out of it? There's an idea. So just my 2 cents today. Thought I'd share this article with you at USA Today. Nikki Haley coming out apparently with some ulterior political motives. She wants Trump on the ballot so she can beat him. And Democrats should want him on the ballot so they can beat him too. I mean, fair is fair. I mean, isn't that what this is, a presidential election here? But you gotta love especially these, you gotta love the pretzel logic of the left here. So they want to kick Trump off the ballot for engaging in insurrection. Quote unquote, engaging in insurrection. But they can't live without him. You see? And now they're talking about, well, I can't even get into what they're talking about. They just go and read what people are talking about people should do to protest Trump being on the ballot. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. You can also follow me at Instagram, #JasonComposes, because I write music in my spare time. Or you can find me at X, Culture Confederacy, at CultureConfed1 on X. Another one-take video. Thanks for being with me. Let me stumble through this. This is Culture Confederacy saying peace out. Stay safe, everybody. God bless this thing called the United States. And you know how we do it here. This is where the past crashes with the present. I'll catch you next time. And you all have a great Tuesday.